White trailer. We start this trailer with a quote, a trend we'll see continued in the other two trailers, and I've always really liked this one in particular. Everyone is entitled to their own sorrow, for the heart has no metrics or form of measure, and all of it, irreplaceable. To the left, to the left. Okay. I just think that's a really phenomenal quote that resonates with me, specifically because I get upset a lot, and my ADHD makes my emotional regulation absolutely piss poor. How dare you say we piss on the poor? And not tend to overshare, but I can kind of spiral and also feel like I'm not allowed to be upset. I was, and still am, emotionally neglected by my parents, with whom I no longer have a relationship. And one reason is because they would dismiss, invalidate, and simply not acknowledge my feelings, even when I had every right to feel the way I did because of what they did at that time. Any wrong they did by me, any anger or upset I felt with them, they would either invalidate or ignore me until I got over it. So my emotional needs weren't met and have yet to be met, honestly, but that's another topic for another day. And I also compare my sorrow to others and try to be conscious of how good I have it by saying I'm not really allowed to be upset because other people have it worse. So I need to appreciate what I have instead of mourn when I don't. But this quote just always stuck with me because it is right. Even if other people have it worse or my problems aren't as severe as theirs, it doesn't mean I'm not allowed to feel how I do or validate and sit with that sorrow. Whenever I start to invalidate my own emotions and compartmentalize them by doing the trauma Olympic comparisons, I think of this quote and try to keep in mind that my feelings do matter, no matter what anyone may say to the contrary. So we learn that Weiss is introduced and she's singing while fighting against a giant knight suit of armor in what appears to be an actual past event or a visual representation of a metaphorical internal battle within Weiss. Later on, we learn that it was an actual battle that happened and that she's fighting to prove herself and earn the right to go to Beacon Academy instead of what her father Jacques had selected for her, if I recall correctly. Her combat style is completely different from RWBY's in the previous trailer. Weiss is more calculated, meticulous, favoring speed and precision, and prefers a rapier and utilizes a variety of dust. And I'm not sure if I mentioned this before, but almost every weapon is also a gun. This is a meme and well known within the fandom.
So I got this thing.
Whoa! Is that a scythe?
It's also a customizable, high-impact sniper rifle.
A what?
It's also a gun.
Oh, that's cool.
We saw RWBY using her giant scythe Crescent Rose as a sniper rifle in the red trailer, and now in the white trailer, Weiss has a revolver barrel at the hilt of her rapier, which is called Merchanaster. This is also how Weiss gets her scar, which is a neat little detail. I love when we get to see the origins of something, such as a scar or something relevant to them. It's said that the red trailer has some inconsistencies with RWBY's character, but Monty explained that as it being more so a demonstration of the choreographed combat in its action, and is therefore not canon. The white trailer, however, is canon, and the events portrayed in it actually do carry over through to the main RWBY show. The music was also lovely, and Weiss's singing voice is provided by Casey Lee Williams, whereas her actual voice, as aforementioned, is provided by Kara Eberly. Now, what do we learn about Weiss Schnee from the white trailer? We see that she's presumably of high social standing, and presents as talented and skilled, both in combat and singing. And she comes across as elegant and eloquent, but also intractable and prideful. We see that she's determined to win using just her skill set, with no additional aids. It's only when she's pushed to the edge where she utilizes the dust in Merchanaster's revolver hilt, and that conveys Weiss is stubborn and intent on winning combat on her own merits by her own skill. Weiss is heiress to the Schnee Dust Company, and she and her father have a very contentious relationship because he is by all accounts a dreadful man. Something we'll come to understand clearly. And using dust as a last resort can be interpreted as Weiss not wanting to rely on her father's wealth and resources or her prestigious family name. Instead? Why did I fuse those two words? Instead, intent on striking out on her own and defining who she is beyond her ties to the Schnee legacy. What does her theme or image song, Mirror Mirror, tell us about her? Harken back to lyrics pertaining to whiteness in the red trailer. White is cold and always yearning, burdened by a royal test. The lyrics to Mirror Mirror echo this, relating to the audience how lonely and isolated Weiss feels, and how she isn't sure of who she is. Identity and autonomy are the central motifs of Weiss's character arc to come, and the White trailer's Mirror Mirror does an excellent job of laying the foundation for that journey. Did you notice how black and white, darkness and light, were used as the most pertinent colors to the scenery of the trailer, and the only other color that makes an impression is the red of the blood from Weiss's wound? And did you notice how Weiss also had a glamour shot framed against the shattered moon, just as RWBY did in the previous trailer? As mentioned, color and its language is very important to the core of RWBY, and the trailers make every effort to convey that with just environmental storytelling, no words necessary. Weiss's trailer comes to an end, and we see her come into color in the ending image with just 2 more trailers to go, and 2 more girls to be revealed. We've become acquainted with our Snow White illusion, as attested to by her name. Weiss Schnee is German for white snow. Why did I say snow? Weiss Schnee is German for white snow. Let's see what's waiting for us in the shadows, shall we? We've become acquainted with our white snow illusion, as attested to her, and we've become acquainted with our Snow White illusion, we've become acquainted with our Snow White illusion, as attested to. Fuck!